I used to think the people who made real money online just didn't feel fear the same way I did, like they were wired differently. Like confidence was either something you had or you didn't, and I genuinely used to wait like years to wait to feel ready instead of just getting on with something. Before I'd even raise my prices, before I used to post a thing I was scared to post, before I'd even reach out to the person who I needed the most. And the truth I eventually had to face was that the people who are actually building wealth aren't fearless at all. In fact, they're just as scared as I was. They just stopped letting that fear be the deciding vote in every decision I had to make. And once I understood that distinction, everything about how I built my income completely changed. Not because the fear disappeared, but because I stopped treating it as something that had to disappear before I move. So this video isn't going to be one of them just believe in yourself videos, because that never actually helped me when I was in it. What helped me was understanding what fear and self-doubt actually are, why they show up exactly when you're closest to growth, and the specific way I learned to work alongside them instead of waiting for them to leave. If you've ever felt like you're the only thing standing between you and the life you want, I genuinely believe this video is going to land for you. I think the first thing that needs to be said is that fear and self-doubt aren't signs that something is going wrong for you. For most of my life, I treated the wave of doubt as proof that I wasn't cut out for this in the first place. Maybe that everyone else had figured out some secret that I hadn't figured out, and that belief alone kept me small for years longer than it should have. What I eventually learned is that fear is the mind trying to protect you from uncertainty. Now, we all have uncertainty that is completely normal. The self-doubt is usually just pain and the scarcity of being embarrassed in front of other people. Neither of them things are flaws at all. They're just old systems doing exactly what they're built to do in the psychology of your mind. Once I personally started seeing fear from that different perspective, as an outdated alarm system, rather than an accurate verdict of my full potential, I just stopped taking its opinions so seriously. It would still show up, don't get me wrong, but it would never be the boss of my decisions ultimately. But I just want to be completely honest about what this actually looked like for me. To pretend this was some clean transformation. Don't get me wrong, there was a stretch of about a full year where I had built something for years, an offer, even content I'd written but never published. Plans I'd made and never executed. Almost none of it ever saw daylight because I was so afraid of what would happen. I was too busy thinking about the negative outcome instead of the potential that it could have risen for me. The moment for me that actually broke the cycle wasn't some dramatic breakthrough at all. It was so small and actually so embarrassing about how it actually was. I sent my offer that I'd built up for a full year to just one person, and literally within the first hour, I closed him. My first ever close on something I never thought would even make it through. And don't get me wrong, the fear and uncertainty, it was still there when I sent that message to him, but it was the first time I let action happen alongside of the fear and uncertainty. That experience taught me one of the most important things about my whole online sales journey, is that confidence isn't the thing that comes before action and produces it. Confidence is the thing that gets built over taking action. I had it completely backwards for years. I thought I needed to feel certain before I could even move, when really, the certainty only ever really showed up after that I'd already moved enough times for the fear to get lost in the system. So the practice I built wasn't actually about eliminating the fear and self-doubt. It was simply just about narrowing the gap between the fear and taking action, until that gap generally became too small that the fear, it couldn't talk me out of anything or get into my mind. In the beginning, don't get me wrong, that gap would normally take days, if not weeks, to even clear from my mind. And the people who look fearless from the outside, the ones building real momentum and real income, almost all of them have become extremely good at closing that gap very, very, very quick. Few specific shifts that helped me close that gap quicker than I did before. And I think they're worth walking through honestly, instead of making it look like some neat little list. The first was learning to separate that feeling of fear from the initial meaning I was referring to it in the first place. Most of my life, the second I felt tight, anxious, before even doing anything important, I straight away took it as a sign that I shouldn't do it at all. Therefore, I shut it down, my mind went completely blank, and I didn't execute on it. When I know damn well right now, that's exactly what you should do. When you're in those uncomfortable positions, you should always shoot your shot and go for it. The sensation itself stopped meaning anything specific whatsoever. It just became information that was about to do something that truly mattered. And that reframe alone took away a lot of its power towards me. The second shift was learning to act before my mind could even build a full case study about what I was about to do. Self-doubt is incredibly persuasive, especially if you give it enough time to talk into your mind. The longer I sat with a decision in my mind, the more convincing that self-doubt became, because it would just flood my mind with ideas as to why I shouldn't do it, instantly thinking negatively instead of the positive outcomes that are going to come with it, and that alone managed to persuade me to not go and do what I wanted to do. So from this, and what I learned was to start shrinking that window of the time you've got given in your mind for it to persuade you to not do something. Ever since then, I've always gave myself straight away, act immediately before giving your mind the attention to think about something. So I started acting and committing simultaneously, literally straight away, before my mind could overthink anything at all. Whether that's a price on a call, on a closing call, or even changing an offer, not attending calls, not posting content, whatever it is that it may be. I'm sure you guys can definitely relate to it as well. Third shift, and honestly the most that changed my income, was realizing that every single financial ceiling that I've hit in my life wasn't actually a market problem, or a strategy problem even. It was a fear ceiling wearing a disguise. Every time I look back in my journal to where my income went down, I can trace it directly to a decision where we're thinking out of fear. And the fear genuinely only been the thing standing between me and the decision I had to make. I want to talk about self-doubt specifically for a moment, because I think it operates a little bit differently from fear. Fear tends to show up between a specific action. Self-doubt seems to appear over an entire action. That quiet, persistent voice that questions whether you're even the person who's allowed to have the things that he wants. And for a long period of time, that voice was much louder than the fear itself. Self-doubt is the thing that crumbles most people. This is why you've got to overcome that and understand that you don't have to completely vanish that. You have to look at it from a different perspective. It wasn't questioning whether my offer would work. It was questioning whether I was capable of someone who could gain the wealth from the offer that I'd built. Because the self-doubt and the voices in my mind would tell me, no, don't go ahead with this, you're not going to make the money that you think you're going to make. And therefore, I didn't go ahead with it. And looking back to it now, I missed out on a vast amount of money because of this. What helped me wasn't trying to silence the voice or argue with it. Because in my experience, that voice doesn't respond well at all to the arguments that you're going to argue with. What helped me was continuing to act in spite with it, over and over, until the evidence that I'd built up could prove to me that it is literally just a self-doubt pushing me away from doing these things. I know I'm more than capable of achieving what I want to achieve, and the things I've built and the things I've gone ahead with, even though that self-doubt initially told me it wouldn't. And then one day, don't get me wrong, it's not going to get completely silenced. However, you're going to know your perception of things. You're going to understand what you want to achieve, you can achieve because you've proved it to yourself. And therefore, that voice in your mind isn't going to overcome, because you know you've been in this situation before, you know you've overcome it. You just need to learn to start acting before that voice in your mind and the things are telling you not to do so overcome you straight away. If I have to leave it with one thing, it's to tell you that you're not going to walk away with fear never been there in your life. It's always going to stay with you. The true thing that really does change is your relationship with you and the fear. Every single thing I've succeeded in, everything I've got my income from, has come from my perception of going for something and striving for something, even when fear was there in the first place. So whatever it is you've been sitting on, whatever offer you've been building, whatever price you've been looking to rise, and if you haven't gone ahead and done something because of the fear overtaking your mind, because of the self-doubt, then I would strongly advise for this to be the day where that gap between you and the fear and the self-doubt closes, even if it is just the smallest amount. Not because the fear will be gone, because it won't be, but because you've finally understood that it's never going to be the thing that is going to stop you from doing something you want to do, unless you, in your mind, genuinely just let it overtake everything, which is not what we want to do. I hope this has definitely motivated a lot of people to go ahead and achieve the dreams, everything they want to do. I'd much appreciate if you could subscribe to the channel. 80% of the guys aren't subscribed right now. I'm going to be making a lot more of these videos, whether to help every single person out in the online business, and to also continue documenting my journey alone. Because nothing's perfect, that's why I'm documenting it, to show the raw footage of what it's like to be a young entrepreneur. So drop a like, subscribe as well, and I'll see you boys in the next one.